Hello and welcome back. A couple of hours later, we've now left our flight, having had a leisurely morning and breakfast, planned our day. We're going to walk across Interlaken to get to Interlaken Ost, East Station, and from there we take a series of trains up to the top of the Jungfrau, changing trains at Lauterbrunnel and also Kleine, Scheidegg, pronunciation of which I have probably utterly screwed up on. But hey, that's what happens when you go to a different country and you're British. So as per the two cable cars we went on over the past few days, the Téléphérique Solaire and the Le Diabloette, I will be including clips of that in this main video, but the main full extended videos will be separate and they'll be uploaded later than this. You can find them in the link down in the description below. Let's do some of the Swiss stations. After about a half an hour walk through the rain, we've made it to Interlaken Ost. There's a train. I don't think that's what we're getting on though. So Interlaken Ost is the main station of Interlaken. It's connected to Interlaken West. It's one straight line. Although Interlaken Ost is also where several smaller railways start, including one branch of the Jungfraubahn, which is what we're taking. Although you have to change twice to get to Jungfraujoch, which is the top of the hill where we're going. I just find it hilarious how you can go direct to Berlin, but you have to change twice to get to the top of a hill. To the trains. This might be our train after all. Although it's not leaving for another 10 minutes. 10 minutes at Interlaken Ost. What is generally marketed to tourists as the Jungfraubahn is actually three distinct narrow gauge railways, the first of which is the Berner Oberland Bahn. This is a two-pronged railway linking Interlaken Ost with Grindelwald and Lauterbrunnel, allowing the Jungfrau to be accessed via two different routes. The railway is mostly conventional rail, with some sections of rack or cogwheel operation in place to allow the trains to achieve the more impressive gradients. It opened in 1890. At both Grindelwald and Lauterbrunnel, passengers travelling up to Jungfraujoch will then join the Wengernalpbahn, a rack railway which runs between the two stations via Kleine Scheidegg, which I probably still can't pronounce, as one continuous line, although it functions as two separate branches as far as tourists heading up to the mountain are concerned. It is the largest single rack railway in the world. It opened in 1893, connecting up with the existing Berner Oberland Bahn, though it is operated separately. The final leg is the Jungfraubahn itself, which runs between Kleine Scheidegg and Jungfraujoch. It was opened between 1899 and 1912 and is mostly carved into the Eiger and Monch mountains. In 1937, the Sphinx Observatory was opened above Jungfraujoch station. The three railways are branded and marketed together under the Jungfrau Top of Europe Marketing Alliance. As mentioned a few videos ago, the narrow gauge railways up the Jungfrau often like to mix and match train fleets, meaning a single train set can often be made of up to 2 or 3 different train models. Information about the different train fleets is a bit fuzzy online, so I'm not going to bother categorising them all in this video, but feel free to look them up if you're interested. Most of the comically large fare up the mountain is actually spent on the top section between Kleine Scheidegg and Jungfraujoch, allowing the railway to be used by residents of the upper towns such as Grindelwald, Lauterbrunnel, Grund and Wengen to access the Swiss mainline via Interlaken. The railway provides a vital link for these towns, though it is primarily used by tourists.
We forgot our walking boots. That's when you go to the panorama.
Fake panorama, che sia fake panorama, you know? Che sia real panorama. Little dreams of Switzerland. You know what? It's something animated. There might be little things that go around in it. Yeah. Cuckoo.
Nice bowl.
Alright, so
Look at all this. Here we are at Windesville, where evidently there's an interchange to another tiny railway of some sort. There are loads and loads of railway lines around here. Unfortunately, we can't do them all. We'd have to spend weeks here. What's more, that railway seems to be a cogwheel. Ours is not. I think we are also narrow gauge. That being said, unlike the main line through Interlaken, which is standard gauge, as it connects with the rest of the Swiss and German rail network. Yeah, there's one. Here we are at... I don't know how to pronounce it.
We might have found the right place. The shop now. Yeah, there was actually connotation as this.
Where you can change for trains to Grindelwald, where I'm presuming J.K. Rowling saw the place on a map and gave her the inspiration to create the character Grindelwald from the Harry Potter series.
Yeah, but it's probably
We are in Zweiluchinen. No faffing about here. Very, very short dwell times. Faffing about. Take note.
Die Seilbahn nach Mürren, Abfahrt 13:08 Uhr. Lauterbrunnel, your next connections, the regional train to Kleine Scheidegg, departure at 13:07, track 3. The cableway to Mürren, departure at 13:08.
1307 platform 3 for our connection to Kleine Scheidegg. Or however you pronounce it. I still don't know. It's all very, very seamless and clever, this system. It's designed to make connections, but because there's so many different connections you can make, it makes more sense, I suppose, to run it as separate trains. But we've got like 10 minutes here anyway, don't we? Lauterbrunnel.
I want this one.
So we're now on the second leg of our journey on this delightful little wooden train going up to Kleine Scheidegg. We're going to climb. This train does some of the heavy-duty climbing work. Oh, look at all... Ah, you can't see it. Damn it. Can't see anything. This is actually a cogwheel. That's Lauterbrunnel. That's where we started our journey, all the way down there. All the way down there, you can see the station where this train departed from about 5 minutes ago. We are doing some insane gradients right now. This is also a cogwheel actually. I thought it was just the last leg that would be a cogwheel, but it's actually this one is also a cogwheel. And I realised because it would be physically impossible to do this gradient otherwise. Oh, look at that! They've got a panoramic coach. You see that? Look, Mum. Panoramic coach. Here we are at Wengen. High up in the mountains.
That is Duncan. Take a good look, because you're only going to come back once in your life.
Almend, which is a request-only stop, and I think I can understand why, because there's nothing here. Oh, looks like we have stopped. Looks like somebody has requested us to stop here after all. And we are now approaching our penultimate station on this leg, Wengernalpbahn, and we are getting to the fringes of... On our left we have kind of green, and on the right we've already got this spectacular top of the thing. We've got it's a melting glacier.
Hang on, wait.
Kleine Scheidegg, Endstation.
Looks like they're building or rebuilding a depot here.
Kleine Scheidegg, final stop.
We've been told our connection is on platform 21.
Yes.
Why are there so many platforms?
I think it's a good place. There's only one.
That is a stupid number of platforms.
Oh my god, we have
Only got 10 minutes here. Let's make use of it. And that's the Jungfraujoch on the right. That's our final leg. This is a pretty spectacular railway. And it's just so amazingly streamlined. There's a little thing of all the connections. This is a very narrow platform we seem to be on. Trapped between two trains. So there's actually a ridiculous number of platforms here.
All passengers, please board at the back of the yellow gates, and if you have a seat reservation, then please board at the green gate.
So I suspect these green trains here are the local ones. Also, everything's cogwheel. Those ones to Grindelwald, which is furthest down the hill. We are, however, heading up the hill in this surprisingly large and crowded narrow gauge main station in the middle of the Alps with these enormous glaciers in the background. This place is just full of surprises. I mean, this is like a full-on main station, isn't it? So, here's our final leg, built by Stadler, this train, apparently.
Sometimes, then stop, then come, stop, come.
Here's the final leg of our journey, also a cogwheel,
Every minute.
Jungfraubahn, and it looks very comfortable. It's actually, this is a bigger train than the one we came on. But I think people come up here via two different routes, because you can do the journey via Grindelwald, and you can also do the journey via Lauterbrunnel.
Oh, that's very ominous.
And they all meet here. They all meet here in this huge, massive interchange. I don't think there are 21 platforms.
I think there are actually, you know.
No, I think there's 2 or 3 platforms there which have one to distinguish these platforms which are in section 2. So this is kind of section 2, platform 1. As opposed to platform 20. That's not 21 platforms. Those aren't platforms, they're sidings.
Here, okay. They're called platforms.
Well, no, because you can't get on there. That's just for train storage.
Can I have my pullover now, please?
We're now leaving Scheidegg on the final leg of our journey, the Jungfraubahn up to Jungfraujoch, which is the highest railway station in Europe. This one's actually a lot quieter than the previous one, and I'd assume that the further up we go, the less and less mainline the trains will feel. But actually, this last leg is a lot more mainline feeling than the previous one, which was like a wooden tram. And we've arrived at our first station, where you can see absolutely nothing because we're in the middle of a cloud. Meanwhile, this station is just a suspended platform with about
Imagine living there.
15 metres worth of stairs to get you down to the 2 houses which this station serves.
Look, isn't that like a ghost house?
IJsmeer, 5 minuten aufenthalt. IJsmeer, die stop is for 5 minutes.
That's not
Can you see anything on the picture?
not much. Right, here we are, Ijsmeer. Let's get back on the train. So there's a quick stop off here. We're buried inside the mountain. So I think the actual Jungfraujoch station is also underground. You have to climb up or take a lift or something to get up to the top where there are various wintry activities.
Wir bitten unsere Gäste, die Plätze im Zug wieder einzunehmen.
Come on, back up. The altitude is messing with our heads because we all feel very tired.
Please return to their seats. The train will depart in 2 minutes.
We're suddenly very tired and very lightheaded. We reckon it's the altitude. It's kind of messing around with us.
Jungfraujoch, top of Europe, Endstation, we wünschen Ihnen einen schönen Aufenthalt. Jungfraujoch, top of Europe, science station, we wish you a pleasant journey.
Here we are, the highest railway station in Europe. Which is odd because it's underground.
Jungfraujoch with please, people want to board the train.
And we made it to Jungfraujoch, highest railway station in Europe. This train now heads back to Kleine, Scheidegg, the stupidly busy station out in the Alps. It's very weird, despite being so high, it's completely underground. This could also be the lowest station in Europe. Obviously it's not, but like, looking at it one might think so. And actually that's funny because Switzerland is also home to the longest and deepest railway tunnel in the world, which goes deep underneath the Alps, the Gotthard Tunnel. It's not really a tourist attraction though, because it's just a tunnel. It's not that exciting. So we did not include it on this trip. But if we ever go from Frankfurt to Milan, we will pass through the Gotthard Tunnel. Anyway, let's find our way to the top, because we're not coming all the way up here without actually seeing the top of the mountain. The dramatic music does kind of help, doesn't it? No, we're not. We're right in the middle of the clouds. It's the highest watch shop in the world. So yeah, the Sphinx base structure, which I'll have to show you a picture of because obviously I can't take one from outside. Looks rather garish. Looks very much like what you'd imagine a colony on another planet, human colony on another planet to look like. Unfortunately, we're in the middle of a cloud and we can't see anything. So we've come all the way up here, and there's this great big whiteness outside. And out we go into the snow. Ooh, and it's cold, and it's snowing, and you can't see anything. I'm currently getting bombarded by snow. Oh wow, don't look down. Don't look down. Jesus. No, don't look down. Oh god, it's so the wind is... I need to go back inside. Ah, it's so cold. The temperature's not that bad, it's just the wind. The wind makes it feel about 10 degrees cooler. And the lens is completely fogged up, you can't see a thing. Oh Jesus! Look at that.
I've not seen.
Look at the lens now. So, because it's cloudy and we're at the cloud level, you can't actually see anything from the viewpoint. However, the weather is constantly shifting, so we might have better luck if we come back up in an hour or two. Oh, next on the list is the Alpine Sensation, also known as the Ice Palace, and in just a moment you will see why.
Munch, that's what I say.
So is that what it used to look like? And now it's quite different. In we go to the Ice Palace. So the information screens along the way told us that the construction of the Jungfraubahn railway started in 1872 or 1892. I'll have to double check that one. And there were many workers who worked on it. A lot of them were Italian.
Oh my god! Do that?
Yeah, low frequency lighting.
Mum, do that? Yeah. That's so weird. Can you see it on mine?
And obviously many workers died in the construction of the railway, probably from hypothermia or something. You won't... Here we are in the Ice Palace. Ooh. Hey Noam. The floor is ice. You've made some excellent Adventure Time references with this. It's the Ice Palace, where's the Ice King? I don't know. This is genuine, actual glacier ice that they've just dug a tunnel into. Very smooth, but you can see there's dirt.
Over and over again, will it melt?
There's bits of dirt trapped in the ice. How long has that dirt been trapped in there, do you reckon? Or do you reckon it melts, crumble away, and they have to replenish it by, I don't know, getting a water jet in here from every few months? Here we are on the plateau. So we're no longer on the base, we are now actually walking on a bit of the mountain. So obviously there are ropes obviously, so you don't go anywhere where it's jagged or dangerous. It's just like, I can't see a thing. I've got my sunglasses on to protect my eyes. I'm not sure you can see a thing either, because I think the camera lens is all fogged up. So I'm not sure how much you can see, to be honest. Unfortunately, we've probably not come on the best day to do this because it's cloudy. So you can't see for more than 10 meters. But even what you can see is pretty spectacular formations. And just the fact of being up here, this altitude, this friggin' freezing considering it's the height of July. Snow. Even if you can't see anything, it's still pretty spectacular to come here. Oh, now I'm... This is David Frankal, with the Jungfraujoch. Oh, it's cold. So we're doing another round of the Sphinx, just for fun. Here's the panorama 360 thing. It's not that exciting, it's just a video.
like the Swiss bluestone.
So we came back here.
You look so weird.
Hoping that the wind had calmed down a bit so we could get a better view. Although it looks as though it's probably even worse than before. Let's find out. It seems relatively calm. Let's see what happens when I put my head over the edge. It's slightly better than before, actually. Undoubtedly there's something there. So after a quick revisit of the Ice Palace, we're now going to head back to the station to catch the 1743 train back to Scheidegg. Oh, that's not the right way. So Switzerland is full of chairlifts, but this is a lift chair. To the station! In fact, I don't think it's arrived yet, or maybe it's on a different platform. Do you know what platform is it on? Video. Come on, once more for the video. Please. Please, please, for the video. Come on. Come on. Please.
Berner would be impressed.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad. And here we are back at Kleine, Scheidegg, where we move on to leg 2 of our journey, which is the train to Lauterbrunnel. And hopefully this one will have a panoramic car that we can sit in.
We have to change train.
If it reassures you.
More than the lady.
Probably true.
So we've decided for a bit of variety, we're going to go back the other route and go via Grindelwald. So we came via Lauterbrunnel and we'll go back via Grindelwald. And off we go. A slight variation from a last minute alteration on our way to Interlaken via Grindelwald. Sounds like the beginning of a song. You can also walk it if you're insane. Unfortunately, once again, it seems that the cloud is
descended upon us.
indeed. We're now about as short-sighted as 1960s railway planners.
Chegas ali, já não fizeste levas ao princípio e passava a nossa. E ficava isso. Tu dizes, não, mas eu quero isto direitinho. Esticaste embaixo, esticaste em cima. Aquilo ficou fofo. Eu estico embaixo, estico em cima, não bate? É o jeito. Pronto, mas tu fazes aquilo do lado, dos dois.
I suspect we are now at Scheidegg, which is... No. We're at Scheidegg. That means tickets or something, I don't know. Office. Entrance, whatever. It's a request only stop, since nobody has requested that we stop. We've not stopped at the request stop. No, it still says the next station is Scheidegg. How long will it take for the board to... Oh, there we go. Next station is now Grund. Here we are at Grund. I believe this is our final station before Grindelwald. So we have reversed. We've reversed at Grund. Because we've reversed. There's a junction. That's where we came from, up there. Oh yeah. You're right, actually. There is another little one. Okay, I won't expect you to say the fourth one. It doesn't really count. Yeah, some more trains. Clearly, the previous rolling stock that is no longer used. So we've reversed briefly before we continue on to Grindelwald, which is where this train terminates, and we catch our final connection to Interlaken Ost. Actually going uphill a bit, but I suspect we'll go right back down in just a moment. And we've now arrived at Grindelwald, and that over there is the Berner Oberland Bahn, the train which will take us back to Interlaken Ost with a 2-minute connection time, so no hanging about, let's go! Here we are at Grindelwald, the namesake for one of the baddies from Harry Potter, of course. Interestingly, the return train is only going as far as Grund. And we are now leaving Grindelwald. Final leg of the journey to Interlaken Ost, although we will probably not walk to Interlaken West, so we'll probably hop on a train. And so that would make this the penultimate leg.
wenn die. Halt auf Verlangen. Next stop, Shandy. Stop on request.
We've now left Oberland. I'm actually 6 minutes late. Shocking.
The flyers are on here.
We're now passing
First flyer.
Luchenthal, but as a request stop, that has not been requested, we do not stop. And here we join the other branch from Lauterbrunnel. Lauterbrunnel. Ow! Stop it! Stop it!
Nächster Halt, Wilderswil. Next stop, Wilderswil.
Or just Interlaken mixed. Don't.
Next stop, Interlaken Ost. Final stop. All passengers are requested to leave the train. We wish you a pleasant evening. Interlaken Ost. Ihre nächsten Anschlüsse der Intercity nach Basel SBB Abfahrt 20:00 Gleis 7. Der Interregio nach Luzern, Abfahrt 20:04, Gleis 4. Interlaken Ost. Your next connections, the Intercity to Basel SBB, departure at 20:00, track 7. The Interregio to Luzern, departure at 20:04, track 4.
Genießen Sie köstliche Speisen, Snacks und erfrischende Getränke im SBB-Restaurant in der Zugsuite.
The SBB train crew welcomes you on the Intercity to Interlaken West, Spiez, Bern, Olten, Lichtental, Basel SBB, and wishes you a pleasant journey. Next.
So the final leg of our journey is a Swiss intercity train which goes all the way to Basel, but obviously we're only getting off at the next station, which is Interlaken West. And it's a very cool mainline train. It's got first class and a buffet car.
And a play area.
And a play. I don't think this one does. Oh, it might. It might. No, that one does. That's an intercity express train from Germany. Some of which do run between Interlaken West and Interlaken East. But the next one to Interlaken West is not for another hour, so we're not going to wait it out. Which is a pity.
See it on the map. I know exactly where, but
Are we getting off there?
Yep.
we can walk it. It's fine.
Hello YouTube, I'm at Manchester Airport. This is an EasyJet flight. We're going to Geneva. After about half an hour searching up and down this road and almost falling off a cliff twice, we have finally found Le Diablerette, which is this enormous cable car. Actually, Diablerette is the name of the area and the town we just went to. Which had a parade, was all very American style. We were wondering why, and then there was a guy who came past dressed up as Trump, and it was that point we realised that the Swiss had put on this entire festival for the sole purpose of taking the piss out of Donald Trump.